Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included Spaced Out DLC. In today's episode, it is finally time to start moving a couple of things. My goal eventually is to spread the base out all over the place, having everything connected with transit tubes, and actually group up the things together that make sense. For instance, I would like to have an area where they can do their pooping, eating and sleeping all together in one go. I decided to put this area on the top left side right here, and we have all of that space as of this transit tube. So this transit tube is actually not gonna go all the way up. Instead, it is gonna connect to this transit tube, and this one here is gonna be the one that actually connects to this module. This also means eventually we can get rid of this shaft right here. This is also going to be connected through a transit tube, and the only way I'm gonna make the rockets accessible. So without any further ado, let's think about how we want to set this up. I would like to go with granite tiles since they have the best decoration, so that is also another thing we're gonna be taking care of. Considering our transit tube is gonna go up right here, maybe this is going to be the best spot to set up the transit tube axis. So I already wanna outline this. Gonna make this out of copper and it's gonna go right here, and that should still be enough space in order to take a turn. We are then going to have a doorway right here, and then we want to continue with an area where we are gonna install a couple of amenities, such as let's actually see what we have. Maybe in furniture we could make use of the jukebox, for instance. We could also have a water cooler, maybe a couple of flowers, you know, just generally things they might enjoy. Looking at the research, we have other things such as a chooser. That could be a good thing to unlock. A hot tub could also be a nifty option. It requires some water that is gonna cool down. That's very intriguing. There's also this mechanical surfboard, however, that seems to be splashing some water on the floor. Not sure I want to introduce that. Here we have a espresso machine. Ah man, there are actually more options than I first thought. What about a monument? I think I'm actually gonna go into the artsy stuff first, so we can unlock that and we can make sure this is gonna be a nifty setup. I think what I'm actually gonna do is leave a little bit of space free here so we can set up a bunch of ladders as well. And we're also gonna fashion these out of granite. The next thing we're gonna set up is one floor down. Here I would like to have all of my bedrooms. Now we're gonna make them fairly large so we can have an extreme amount of decoration in there. Maybe 7 wide. What do you think? This is a really large bedroom. Yeah, I guess 5 wide is actually gonna do the trick. So that would be 1 bedroom. Oh, that is only 4 wide. This technically would leave us enough space for 6 bedrooms, at the bottom at least, and then we could have another 3 here on the top. You know what? Let's just go ahead and do this. This is going to be the recreational room, and then we set up a bunch more bedrooms. We're also gonna move the entirety of this insulated layer 1 more to the top. Actually, in order to be able to reach the ceiling, we might first want to exchange this one. Then all of these are gonna be bedrooms. I would like to have even more bedrooms. Oh, we should also think about a nature reserve. If I'm not mistaken, I still have some pips somewhere hanging around, or maybe they died. So what, instead of bedrooms, we made this a mess hall. That might not be too bad. It's 68 tiles. What's my current mess hall? Only 56 tiles, so we can definitely make a good mess hall here. This means we would want to set up something similar in order to store the food right in here. We want to fill this up with chlorine, and then we should have all of this space, 15 tiles, to make a really good setup. Okay, next up, let's assume 12 duplicates is gonna be everything that I'm gonna have in this world. So 12 bedrooms should also be enough, so we can finish that here. However, now there's of course one thing missing: the bathrooms. Observing them, they actually first go to the bathrooms, then they eat, and then they go to sleep. No, they first do some recreation if they have the time for it, and then go to sleep. So eating here, recreation here. I guess it's not that bad if we set up the bathrooms here at the bottom. Instead of rambling on, I thought about this for a little bit and I figured out a configuration I want to go for. Transit tube access is going to be right here. Then this is going to be our kitchen. Right here we have the mess hall. They will then be able to go down here into the bathroom. Right here is going to be the recreational room, and then down here they're going to have all of their bedrooms, and this corridor right here is going to be my nature reserve. That's exactly how we're going to do it, and maybe to have a little bit of a better understanding about it, it's time to get this started. I also want to make sure Max has something to do. I'm just gonna dig up all the algae in the world. This is gonna give me plenty of time and lots of oxygen. Maybe we can already go ahead and set up a couple of kitchen appliances that we're gonna need. Egg cracker, maybe the grill right here. Then I would like to have a little bit of decorations, and there's still gonna be the gas range. I might even want to leave a little bit of space in between each so we can set up a statue as well. We have so much liquid up here at the top, so I decided to start the liquid tapidizer again. So this is gonna shut off as soon as the pump is gonna turn on. This actually works in my favor, since at the moment I'm not crafting anything in the metal refinery, which means it's never gonna continue pumping unless we heat up the liquids manually. On the top here, we're actually almost done sealing this off. Good progress so far. Obviously, we are also going to require a way to transport the food into our new storage area, which is gonna go right here. And actually here at the bottom, we're gonna set up a weight plate. So we're gonna do a similar setup to what we've already had. Looks like the best one block sculpture we can make at the moment is the metal block. I think that is a good idea. And with copper, we get another additional 20% in decoration. We can also already do the mess tables. We're gonna require 3 sets of 4 mess tables. Or maybe better, we do 2 sets of 6. Yeah, that could also be a solution. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, that adds up much better. This is also going to allow me to set up another statue here in the center, and then we're going to start decorating everything. Okay, slowly but surely this is taking form. We are also preparing our first metal block here. Ruby is going to town, and this seems to actually be hurting her a little bit. There it is. Unfortunately, only a mediocre sculpture. However, this is still going to help us in terms of decorations. I would hope so. Anyways, it's now time to plan out one of the bedrooms. How do we exactly want to do it? Well, first of all, we want to go ahead and set up a comfy bed, that's for sure. And dude, are you telling me I haven't researched that yet? Yeah, there it is, the comfy bed. Haven't even researched it. Jeez, okay. Well, in this case, we can probably do the more agonizing part, which is going to be to set up this food storage area. If we have a look at our current food storage area, this is actually working phenomenally. The food keeps sterile and completely germ-free. I love it. I'm gonna keep it 1 tile in size. This means the first thing we need to set up is probably a mini gas pump that we're gonna place right here. So we're gonna do something like that. Another thing we need to set up is a bottle emptier, just temporarily. And as a matter of fact, I want to do that first so we have this gap still open. Oh no, dude, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, we need to cancel the weight plate just for a second so I can release the liquid first. It's gonna be much easier to keep it under control. Now we want to go ahead and take a little bit of brine. I love that. Enable auto bottle as well. We're also gonna need a little bit of power in the joint. And I thought, why not actually hook up a power transformer? Now, we can probably go with the small power transformer. I'm gonna do something like that. And for the first time, we're also using the heavy watt conductive wires, which not only give better decoration, but they will also be able to carry more current. Then we're gonna take our normal copper wires and just lead them through everything we require. At the moment, it's also gonna be to over here. We're also gonna do a little temporary setup in order to get the gases out of here initially. Then we need to set up a storage with a little bit of bleach stone. Oh, there we go. That's already it. I don't need more of that. And what we are gonna do now is take apart this tile right here at the bottom, which should then give us the perfect amount of liquid just remaining in this tile. There we go. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and mop everything up, and we should be able to keep this going. Now I can actually set up the weight plate as well. I actually wonder, could I take Ruby and give her a masterwork thingy-mabob? I mean, it's going to be 12 morale, but I think it's worth it since she's going to make much better statues. I just noticed that I don't really have access to power this way at the moment, and we really need it for this mini gas pump. So I'm going to be a little bit unconventional and lazy. Just going to set up a manual generator for the time being in order to power this up. There we go. Pump is going for it. That should not take very long in order to get rid of the gases. Actually, maybe it is going to take a humongous amount of time. So let's not think about it too much. Yeah, check this out. This is a genius sculpture here, and this is only mediocre. So maybe we are gonna deconstruct this and redo it. The way we're going to do the nature reserve is with a little trick. We're gonna set up a mechanical door in each of these corners, and we want to make sure it is actually encased like this. Once we have this built and deconstruct the mechanical door, we should get a full tile that we then can use in order to plant some plants with a pip. We have also completed our research for the comfy beds, so it's now finally time to set those up. I'm actually only gonna do one bedroom. I just wanna make sure we have everything set up so we know how to copy things over. We currently have plenty of reed fiber, or at least enough in order to set up a bunch of canvases. When I have my canvas right here in the center, then we also want a wall pot. Let's actually have this on this side so we can set up a nice flower, and then maybe a sculpture. Yeah, why the heck not? We could add a large sculpting block out of sandstone. I kind of like the idea of that. And this should technically be plenty of decoration. Another thing we can already go ahead and do is set up doors for everything. Door right here and another one there, and that should be all the doors we required. The kitchen and the recreational room both don't need to be enclosed. Ah, look at that. We've already achieved a vacuum. That is absolutely perfect. So we can get rid of that and that. As a matter of fact, we can get rid of this entire contraption. Don't need the manual generator anymore, and we can now set up a storage. So please do that quickly. Want to get my bleach stone in there. Ah, check this out. We have 12 briar seeds. This is absolutely perfect. They have a wide range of temperature and are purely decorative. There it is, all the doors prepared. We should be able to just go ahead and deconstruct them in order to get a natural tile for the nature reserve. And there it is, unfortunately a cracked tile. Well, what you gonna do? I'm gonna do the same thing here actually for the next tiles. So we wanna have 2 natural tiles next to each other. You know, maybe just to have something in each corner, I'm gonna set up a corner molding here. And then this is going to be the blueprint we take for each of the bedrooms. My storage bin is in place. Consumable ore, bleach stone is what we want to store in here. And will you look at that, we're actually already done with the nature reserve task. So I would like to set up 2 plants maybe at the bottom and then 1 additional plant on each of the other floors. At least that's how I hope it will go. Oh, check this out. We just received a pip. Ah, just gotta love it. That means we want to set this up real quick, have a drop-off point here, and I also want to set up a nature reserve thingamabob. Actually, what we might want to do first is a storage bin. We need to bring over a couple of seeds that we want to plant here. Actually, we do have the space for a park sign. Let me make this out of copper if possible, and that goes right here. Drop-off point is in place. Pip, pip, pip. I want you. And now, where did it go? Right here. Yes, please wrangle that up really quickly. As for the seed type, let's think about what we actually want. Maybe just some decorative plants would be nice. We could go with Joya seeds, for instance, and the Mirth leaves would also be nice. Maybe I already have enough with those. In the meantime, I have stored all of the chlorine here, and you can see it actually stopped at 1,800 grams, which is absolutely fine. We can now deconstruct this storage bin again. We are then gonna finish this off by making it just 1 block high. This way I believe also nothing should be able to off-gas. And of course we're still gonna need a conveyor chute right there. As for the pneumatic doors, obviously we want them all open. Well, I don't really know how to process this, but I lost track of my pip. For some reason it's disappeared. It's nowhere to be found. That is a little bit unfortunate, so we might have to wait for another one to be granted to us. I mean, it's not a really big issue. The nature reserve is just a bonus in my opinion. It's gonna be hard to keep up the buff the entire day anyways. I decided to complete the setup with the transit tube, so there's gonna be a temporary transit tube access, so I still have access to all of my rockets, and then we can basically open this up and get rid of this liquid log. And I think we're actually already done with this, so I would like to close this off. This is gonna be the last thing that I need. We can actually deconstruct this, and then yeah, we should be ready. Oh, that was actually a close one. I did not realize there was still someone up there. There we go. It is closed off. Wonderful. That means we can take apart this tile here as well. Basically open this up. Next up, we want to take apart this wall, and this can now be connected to my power lines. If we take apart the liquid log, everything is gonna drop down here. I think we should be fine with that. So let's go ahead and do that. You can go, you can go. I will need to have another solution for my hydrogen, maybe on the top here. That could be a good idea. And naturally, we also want to connect this transit tube. New printables, please, another pip. Unfortunately not. That means we can finalize the last bedroom. That is gonna go right here. Don't need that anymore. To take care of the hydrogen for the time being, I'm just gonna dig my way up here, make sure we can get rid of everything here on the top and gather it all in one spot. We can actually make the bathroom even nicer with some molding. Definitely gonna do that. So that will stretch all the way across the top here. As for the automation, we might want to set up an auto sweeper that goes right here. This way we might be able to pick up everything of importance at least. As a matter of fact, let's swap the egg cracker and the microbe musher. This way I will definitely be able to pick up everything. Yeah, I think that's the better idea. We should then be able to set up the conveyor loader here in this place and complete the rail. Also time for a couple of flower pots. And we're also going to set up some molding for the Great Hall. Finally, we should have the space for a couple of pictures. We can maybe do another one right here. Yeah, I like that. It's gonna be fabulous. You know, while we have nothing better to do, let's go ahead and do the other bedrooms. One statue for each room. You're all gonna get a nice picture as long as I have the reed fiber. You all also deserved a wall pot, that's for sure. One single corner molding. And finally, a comfy bed. Another thing we should go ahead and do is connect these transit tubes here. And actually right at this spot, I would like to have another transit tube access. This is going to be one of my corridors that is going to be connected through one long transit tube. Alrighty, we are now in the cleaning up phase. I'm just picking up everything that has dropped on the floor. We still have to do the piping for the bathroom. I decided to wrap up the kitchen with a gas range as well as a water sieve. So that's going to be responsible to clean the water for my toilets. Now I just have to check out what's happening with Turner. What? Wait, how did you make your way down here without an Atmos suit? Oh, I see. They just took this ladder down here. That of course wasn't really my intention. Yeah, I have to take apart a couple of ladders here. And now Turner, you have to come. Oh no, I can literally not click him. Ah, there we go. I managed to click him. Okay, Turner, you want to move up here and then you want to take that bed. Ooh, and just in the nick of time. Man, guy, you have to be more careful. No, Gossman. Now he's doing the same thing again. So why not, as a last deed for today's episode, finish the plumbing. This is where we want the fresh water. It's then gonna come out here at the top, all going into the ceiling. As of this point, we want to redirect it into our water sieve. It's then gonna come out at this point, going all the way down, joining up with the fresh water. And everything that is too much, we're gonna redirect. So what we might want is a bridge right here in order to give this priority, and then everything that's too much is gonna go out here, joining up with my German water tank. I'm actually gonna reroute my pipes a little bit. I want this to all flow into one direction. Yeah, something like that just makes way more sense to me. Wonderful. More or less everything is ready now. We can basically now go ahead and take apart all the other bedrooms, the bathrooms. We will still need to take care of a couple of other things. For instance, we're gonna need a couple of airflow tiles in order to take care of the carbon dioxide. We're gonna need the entirety of the recreational room. So maybe you have a bunch of good suggestions. What else are we gonna require? We need to finish that cable, that's for sure. Oh, looks like... wait... no, that's not the current load. Maybe one thing we can prepare is how we want to distribute the oxygen. For instance, I want to have a vent right here. We're gonna have an additional vent on either side of this room. We could then go ahead and do something like that, have an additional vent here, and that theoretically should be enough. Let's do it for each of the rooms here. Why the heck not? We can never have too many. These are also going to be the normal vents since we only want to preserve a certain amount of pressure. Actually, let's get rid of this one. I don't think that's going to be necessary. Okay guys, but with that out of the way, we're gonna wrap it up for today's episode. I'm pretty happy with this module. In the end, everything turned out fine and we should be able to move that in the next episode. But with that out of the way, thank you so much for watching. Have a great time and hopefully I'm gonna catch you in the next episode. Bye bye.